Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at the second of two Amazon exclusive sets. This is the Humble Origins 2-pack of Senator Shockwave and Data Clerk Orion Pax. As I mentioned, these are Amazon exclusives, and as I mentioned in the Senator Ratbat and Miner Megatron review, Amazon unfortunately made a little bit of a mistake in listing these figures. If you wanted this set in front of you, Shockwave and Orion Pax, you actually had to order the Miner Megatron and Ratbat set that while the pictures were wrong, the name was wrong, the price was correct. And if you wanted to get the Miner Megatron and Ratbat set, you had to order this set. Again, the pictures were wrong, but the price was correct. Now, apparently, from what I understand, Amazon was made aware of the mistake right away, but for whatever reason, they did not correct it. Now, personally, from what I've heard, it takes a great deal of effort to get something changed, and it's really only if it makes like the mass media or something that the Amazon will change a listing, or it's something like endangering a child. With that said, if you wanted both sets, not a problem, because you got them and you paid the same amount. But unfortunately, people only wanted one or the other set, and there's a lot going on. Some of them are complaining they're getting full refunds and being able to keep the set. Um, Others are returning it and still getting the wrong thing. The last thing I heard, and again, take this with a grain of salt, is that Amazon's going to pull the listings since they've been made very aware of the mistakes. Now, one other thing before we get into the review proper, both of these are repaint retools of pre-existing molds from the Siege line. The Shockwave is obviously the Seeker mold, whereas Orion Pax is clearly the Hound mold. Because of the fact we're dealing with 5-year-old plus molds, I do not have the original figures handy to do comparisons with, but I will do my best to point out all the differences. At this point, I think we all know what the Seeker mold and Hound looks like, especially the Seeker mold, since I've lost the count of how many uses of the mold is. This is actually only the third use of the Siege mold since the Studio Series 86 Hound has not been released yet, which was going to be a retool of this. That's about it. So I think what we'll do is we'll start and we'll take a look at. Okay, and I realize I made a mistake and said we're going to start with Hound when I should have said Orion Pax, but this is the Hound mold. This is an extensive retool. Also, there's one new accessory. Instead of coming with the shoulder cannon, Orion Pax comes with a variation on the battle axe, which does come in two parts and can be separated. I'm sure this is all Siege Blast Effect compatible, but I do want to make it clear this is not a reuse of the Thrilling 30 Orion Pax, Pax's axe. Pax's axe. I do find it funny that as we're closing in on the 40th anniversary of Transformers, deep breath, we can talk about multiple versions of Orion Pax that we've gotten over the years. And this is funny that this one is actually not a retool of Cup, which many of the other ones have been, but apparently this is closer to how Pax looked in this iteration of the IDW comic. Now we do get a repaint of Hound's rifle, which, by the way, I don't know if this was really mentioned, due to the fact that Hound's hand weapon, has always been depicted improperly due to the animators not realizing the box art was stylized and was being looked at a certain angle and drawn as a pistol. This is actually a close approximation of what his rifle should look like. And of course you have the ammunition clip, which, as before, can peg into either side of the figure here. There are slots. And my preferred position is I like to stick it in the back, just like that. So we'll just put that off to the side. And looking at Orion Pax, what I can tell you is while this back section here and the frames of the roll cage are the same, this clear blue section is different because that was actually clear plastic. The panels here, the sides, I believe are different because the legs are entirely new. This whole front section is new. And I think the arms are the same. Obviously, it's the same. It's a new head as well. But the vehicle rolls quite nicely. This is actually, the mold is in good condition. Again, this is really only the third use that I can remember. Maybe fourth, because there was a Walmart exclusive for the Siege cartoon. So there was that. But yeah, my only issue is this panel right here, which is the foot, has a tendency to sometimes pop off during transformation, but nothing too bad. Other than that, since we've gone over the transformation before, we'll just go from this to this. And I have to say, just a different shade of paint, some vibrant colors, really makes a big difference with the figure. And I really forgot how much I enjoyed the Hound mold. As I mentioned, new chest. I even believe this waist section is new. The legs and even the feet are new, including the toes here, which we're discussing. There's the ankle pivot and what have you. Just a really great looking version of Orion Pax. And I wouldn't even have an issue if they want to maybe repaint this into a young cup or something, just to get another use of the mold. The head is very nice and a little bit different from the Orion Pax that we've seen before, but at least with this mold, you can see a bit more of the upcoming, the Optimus Prime in it, so I should say. So, very nice, very well done. The figure, of course, can hold its accessories. I do like the handguard on the axe there. That is kind of cool, because I do remember reading a Spotlight comic where Orion Pax was actually part of the Cybertronian Guard. So it's not out of sorts to see an Orion Pax with weapons and, heavily armed. Well, not heavily armed, but armed. And yeah, just a really fun figure. I think if you remember when I reviewed the Rat-Bat and Megatron set, I said at that point you were basically buying the set for, one figure, and that being Rat-Bat. Well, I'd have to say it again that you're buying the set for one figure, and it's Orion Pax. That's not to say Shockwave is that bad, and in fact, I think we're going to pause and take a look at Shockwave right now. Okay, and here's Shockwave, and I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in terms of the accessories, but then again, since I'm not really familiar with this iteration of the character, this could be accurate, but the only thing the figure comes with are these little winglet accessories here. Obviously, you can see there's been a heavy retool of the Tetrajet mold, removing the triangle sloped wings and replacing them with these side boosters. Also, very interestingly, Shockwave is presented with this seafoam blue and red and white color scheme. Very heroic colors. I mean, I'm not familiar with the story, but obviously something has to happen that Megatron gets a hold of him and either corrupts him or he ends up being corrupt all along, but then turning evil and becoming the Shockwave we all know and love. But other than that, the mold is still very solid. I am impressed with that. And one thing I want to mention, unlike on Minor Megatron, this is the fixed version of the mold where the chest piece is secured into place, and it's not clear plastic either. So that's one of the other reasons why I was not too uh, motivated to grab one of the old Siege Tetrajet molds, is because the chest piece was all clear plastic, and once after the original release of Starscream, they did fix it, but they put a pin through it. So it's really not a question of if, but when that could break off of the pin. But much like Orion Pax, since we're very familiar with this transformation, how about we do this? And as you can see, here is Shockwave in its robot mode. Have the winglets flared back a little. Just, obviously you can do what you will with them. They are meant to be posed, as well as these wings if you want to fold them flat. The few things to point out: the instructions show removing the wings for the transformation. Obviously, you can do the transformation with the wings attached. Also, just something I've learned from transforming these over the years, I suggest folding down this back panel that connects to the head before folding up the sides of the nose cone and pegging it in, just because they help guide it in, and since they do tab in there, it's a little bit easier to handle. But other than that, the mold field's fine. There might be like a little bit of looseness here in some of the ankles, especially with the forward and back, not the pivot. But that could be your mileage may vary type of issue. I did hear of one person who got this set and the chest piece was missing. Mine is obviously there, and as you can see, that is a new chest piece. This new section, the side panels here. But other than that, I'm pretty sure this is, and maybe this new crotch piece. But other than that, besides the head, this is all the original Siege mold. You have all the greebling and detailing and stuff. So I mean, again, it's very nice. It's just that I tend to prefer Orion Pax, and I think if you're gonna buy the set, you'll get more of an enjoyment out of Orion Pax. Um, but really, I mean, that's about it. Articulation is the same on both figures. You love it, you love it. You hate it, you hate it. It is what it is. So why don't we pause, and we'll come back with my final thoughts. And of course, much like the Rat-Bat and Megatron set, this is me trying to recreate the box art cover. Um, I enjoy this set a lot more than the Rat-Bat and Megatron set. And I'm not saying that because of how floppy and the QC issues with Megatron was. I just felt that these figures really were a lot more fun to handle, and I think overall you will enjoy them a bit more. The transformations are a bit more straightforward, and I mean they're just cool. And to actually have a Shockwave that looks so different than the character we know, I mean that's just something right there. And again, we're months away from the 40th anniversary of Transformers, and to be able to say, to look, you think back and we to say that we don't have just one Orion Pax figure, we have several now that we can choose from. That's kind of cool. So definitely, this is a great set. Now, again, my favorite is Orion Pax, and I think, as I said at the beginning, you'll be buying this set for Orion Pax. But again, I have to stress, this is not to say Shockwave was a bad figure. I do believe these are in stock at Hasbro Pulse, but they are Amazon exclusives. But as I mentioned in the beginning, Amazon, as last time I checked, if they're still up, the listings are flipped. So if you want this set, you have to order off of Amazon the Rat-Bat Megatron set. It's the right price for a Voyager and a Deluxe, uh, but the pictures are wrong. And everyone who has done that has gotten this set. Now, speaking of the price, the one thing that's making me hesitant to give this a full up is the fact that we are dealing with, um, you know, the
upteenth use of the Seeker mold, and about the third or fourth use of that Hound mold. And I think when they're reusing molds like this, even with the extensive retooling, the price should reflect that a little. And I understand the cost of making toys and tooling and this and that, but at the end of the day, I just think it would be better all around. So that's about it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. What I always appreciate the views. The likes, comments, and subscriptions help to communicate to YouTube that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. Algorithms and everything. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/ChuckDog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like this to you. You know the whole jibe. But as I always say, if you can't afford the $1 a month, $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous sundae. So, once again, this is your old pal Chuck for Senator Shockwave and Data Clerk Orion Pax. We will see you next time.